This is, according to me, the vote kharidi election. Why do you need to steal votes when you can buy them? Rahul Gandhi, I found, doesn't evoke the same instant connect in Bihar as does a Narendra Modi. No BJP leader in Bihar comes close to Nitish in terms of their pan-Bihar appeal.
Views expressed in this blog are hosted on my own website, are strictly personal and do not reflect the views of any.
Namaskar friends, hello and welcome once again to Straight Bat, my weekly video blog where, as the title suggests, I comment with a straight bat. Who is winning the battle for Bihar is the top of the mind political question at the moment. After the 2024 general elections, I must be honest, I believe journalists should leave the hazardous task of forecasting to pollsters, who also, as we know, often get it wrong. And yet, as someone who prides himself a bit as a field reporter, after spending a week on the ground in Bihar, I think I have a fair sense of which way the wind might be blowing this time. So here are my quick 10 takeaways, including possibly the answer to that question. कौन जीत रहा है बिहार? Takeaway number 1. This is, according to me, and listen carefully, the vote kharidi election, the buying of vote election in Bihar. Forget about vote chori or vote theft. Why do you need to steal votes when you can buy them? This is exactly what is happening at one level in Bihar. Putting 10,000 rupees in the pockets of more than 1.4 crore women under the Mukhyamantri Rozgar Yojana, even while the election campaign is on and the model code of conduct is in place, is to my mind a brazenly unethical practice. One which I'm sorry to say, a thoroughly weak and compromised election commission has chosen to explain, according to sources, as an ongoing scheme. An ongoing scheme of cash transfers which began just weeks ahead of the polls being announced. It may be legal, but it is brazenly unethical. Whichever way you look at it though, it is working on the ground. Women or Mahilas have goodwill for Nitish Kumar in any case. His 10,000 rupees is a bonus, a reminder that Nitish Babu, who brought in prohibition, reservations for women in Panchayat, cycles for girls, is a Mahila first Neta who they can trust. Which is why, if the woman voter turnout is higher than that of men at the conclusion of this election, then trust me, this election is more or less done and dusted. Takeaway number 2, which brings me to Nitish Kumar himself. Nitish Kumar may be at the age of 75 visibly aging and ailing, but he is still the NDA's trump card in a state election. Yes, I sensed a fatigue factor in some places with the same government in power for such a long period, but there was no anger against Nitish Kumar the individual. Not even the fact that he had made so many U-turns in his political career. Most people, in fact, don't have a harsh word to say against him. When I asked someone whether he was physically and mentally fit to be chief minister, the angry response I got from a villager was, just because someone is aging, कोई बूढ़ा हो रहा है, will you throw him out of the house? घर के बाहर निकालोगे? Make no mistake, my friends. Nitish Kumar is still relevant. Whether the BJP may want him as chief minister or not, the fact is no BJP leader in Bihar comes close to Nitish in terms of their pan-Bihar appeal. Takeaway number 3. While there is little anger against Nitish Kumar the individual, I did sense growing restiveness against sitting MLAs. Many people saw their MLAs as corrupt and non-performing and inaccessible. The badlav or change sentiment that people express, therefore, is principally against their local MLAs. Don't therefore be surprised if more than a fair few MLAs struggle to return to power. And this is where the RJD, which has changed the maximum number of its sitting MLAs, may have a slight advantage. Which brings me to takeaway number 4 and Tejasvi Yadav, the principal challenger in a way in this election. Tejasvi is young, energetic, but somehow the buzz that I saw in 2020 when Tejasvi's campaign pitch of providing 10 lakh government jobs captured the imagination, especially of youth, is clearly missing this time. 2020, in my view, was Tejasvi's election, one that he should have won only if his ally, the Congress, had got its act together. This time, the mood among his core support base, the Muslims and Yadavs, is still firmly with him. But Tejasvi's challenge is, how do you expand beyond that 31-32% Muslim Yadav vote to reach 41-42%? That remains a major challenge. How does he expand his base? Takeaway number 5. Tejasvi's other big challenge in this election is to live down the Jungle Raj narrative that has been set by the BJP and Prime Minister Modi in particular. You see, Lalu Prasad, interestingly, is both an asset and a liability for his son. While Tejasvi has inherited his father's core vote, the very idea of any return to Yadav Raj brings back memories of Gundaism in the eyes of many voters, both upper caste and non-Yadav backward caste and even Dalits. Very interestingly, a BJP Neta told me, actually we are fighting this election not against Tejasvi, but against the ghost of Lalu Prasad. We need to create that ghost of Lalu Prasad so that we can weaken Tejasvi. Even though Lalu Prasad last ruled Bihar more than a quarter of a century ago. Takeaway number 6. While Bihar remains principally a regional level fight, the BJP does become a force multiplier on the ground, unlike the Congress. The BJP has the cadres and, yes, unimaginable resources to draw in the votes. Just to give you one example, BJP's digital ads on Google and YouTube, their ad spend is more than all the other parties put together. Not to forget, Narendra Modi enjoys high popularity as a national leader, a high name recognition. And thereby, there is in Bihar a kind of double engine model, NEMO, Nitish plus Modi, which might yet work. Takeaway number 7. Rahul Gandhi, I found, doesn't evoke the same instant connect in Bihar as does a Narendra Modi. But if there is one group, and this is important, who talks about Rahul Gandhi in positive terms, it is Dalits. One Dalit shopkeeper in rural Bihar told me, कम से कम राहुल जी हमारी बात तो रखते हैं. Rahul Gandhi's swim in a pond in Begusarai made quite a splash. Lots of reels all across Bihar. The fisherman community, remember my friends, is not insignificant. And it has become a talking point along the Ganga in many fisher folk communities. The Malla community vote in particular could be key in close fights in some areas. Don't forget that Bihar in 2020 saw many such close fights. More than 50 seats were decided by a margin of 5,000 or less. Takeaway number 8. Another X factor in Bihar remains Prashant Kishore. As a political startup in a complex state like Bihar, Prashant Kishore has done remarkably well to become part of the political conversation so quickly. To some extent, you could argue that he is a social media phenomenon. Everyone shares videos I saw of Prashant Kishore. In fact, when I went on a campaign trail with him, I saw enthusiastic audiences greeting him in various parts, but they were mainly male and youth. Some of them were the young migrants who had come home this time to vote. Bihar has one of the largest youth demographics in the country. 22% of the voters between the age of 18 and 29, 53% below the age of 40. To some extent, Prashant Kishore is a disruptor of the status quo who could get a chunk of this youth vote. Not enough, I feel, to win many seats, but maybe enough to become a future player if he can stay the course for another 5 years at least. Takeaway number 9, my friends. If Mahila and Yuva are the new MY of Bihar, and you could add MYD with Dalits, caste remains the most enduring badge of identity. Caste identities exist across the country, Vokaligas and Lingayats, Marathas, Jats, but in Bihar, one finds that they are more stridently expressed in terms of political affiliations. Most caste blocks seem frozen in time. The two who could prove decisive in this election are Dalits, who are divided into different subgroups, and the lower extremely backward castes or EBCs. Dalits are about 16%, EBCs are 26%. Whoever gets the larger chunk of these two major blocks, I believe, will win Bihar. Which brings me to my 10th and final point, where maybe I can answer the original question, Kaun jeetega Bihar? In 2020, my friends, what we saw is best described as a kaante ki takkar. An election that was very, very close, where the gap between Party 1 or Alliance 1 and Alliance 2 was just 12,000 votes. A few seats here and there, the election would have swung. But don't forget, that election of 2020 was fought against the backdrop of COVID and fissures in the NDA alliance, with the likes of Chirag Paswan of the Lok Janshakti fighting the election on his own, while the likes of an Asaduddin Owaisi clearly cut into the Mahagathbandhan vote in places of Simanchal. 2025, therefore, is a more normal election. One where the size of the NDA alliance in terms of its caste arithmetic and its higher level of organizational preparedness gives it a distinct edge over the Mahagathbandhan. Having said that, it is my view that turnout will hold the key, as I said at the outset. Will it be Mahila all the way? In which case, advantage Nitish Kumar. Or will there be a fractured vote with the Yuva or the youth changing the course of Bihar? That, to my mind, is still the moot question. As you can see, I've gone about as far as I could in predicting what might happen in Bihar. But I've learnt over the years, Bihar can always surprise. As a postscript, let me say this. Often when I travel across Bihar, I wonder if the state is still caught in a time warp, unable to go beyond its traditional caste interests. Yes, the roads are infinitely better. Law and order has improved, despite the presence of the Bahubalis, the likes of Anand Singh, for example. But politics is still caught in a mandalized world, and lack of jobs in particular, or rozgar, remains the major concern across groups. But here is the good news I saw in Bihar. Bihar has the best museum I have seen in this country. The new Bihar Museum in Patna is spectacular, one that truly recreates the magic of an ancient civilization going back centuries. You know what, friends? That rich history of Bihar deserves a better present and hopefully a better future too. Think about it. That was the straight bat. Do of course subscribe to my YouTube channel for many more such videos. For now, stay well, stay safe. Jai Hind. Namaskar.